Hello and thanks for joining us for our late night newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. I'm Mark Broome. We start with news on the trade front, and July was another month the Korean economy would rather forget, both in terms of imports and exports. Along the driver of Korea's economy, exports have dropped for 7 straight months now, largely because of low oil prices. Kwon Soa reports.
July did not buck the trend. Korea's exports saw another on-year monthly decline as outbound shipments amounted to $46.6 billion last month. That's a 3.3% drop from the same month last year. But the country posted a trade surplus for the 42nd straight month as imports fell to even lower levels. The fall in exports is largely being attributed to a global oversupply of goods and a further decline in global oil prices that began to tumble drastically last year and stood at around $56 per barrel in July. Also, despite data showing export quantity based on pure weight increased by almost 8%, the average price of goods plunged by more than 10%. This was especially the case for sectors affected by oil prices. Experts say Korea's price competitiveness is being eroded against other countries, especially Japan, with a weak yen making things even more difficult.
Our global competitiveness in key industries such as the auto industry is very intense. This is expected to continue, so if we don't foster new growth engines soon, the latter half of the year won't be much better.
There is even concern Korea won't surpass an annual trade volume of $1 trillion by the end of this year, a target it has reached for 4 straight years up until 2014. Kwon Soa, Arirang News.
Delegates negotiating a Pacific Free Trade Agreement known as the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP, have failed to reach a final deal after talks in Hawaii. Trade ministers from the 12 countries involved in the TPP talks failed to break deadlocks on a number of key issues. That said, the ministers still say they are confident an agreement is within their reach. The issues that held up the deal are politically sensitive, including efforts to allow more rice imports to Japan, more sugar imports to the United States, greater access to Canada's dairy market, as well as expanding patent protection to a new class of promising drugs for 12 years. Now, when sealed, the Trans-Pacific Partnership will stretch from Japan to Chile and cover 40% of the world economy. Hong Kong has lifted its travel warning against Korea after the country was declared free of Middle East respiratory syndrome, or, as it's more commonly known, MERS. The red outbound travel alert, in place since June 9th, was meant to curb non-essential travel and encourage people from Hong Kong to stay away from Korea in light of health concerns. The country has also stopped its policy to treat all arrivals from Korea who display flu-like symptoms as suspected MERS cases. The Korean government last week declared an effective end to the MERS outbreak that killed 36 people. There have been no new MERS cases in Korea since July 3rd. Now, if you love animals and fresh air, you might want to check out some of the open livestock farms there are here in Korea, where children and adults can spend a fun-filled day with farm animals. Won Jeon reports.
This little pig can do adorable tricks on stage, and it makes the children go wild. Here at this pig farm in Gyeonggi-do Province, you can spend the whole day cuddling or playing games with miniature pigs.
At first, I was scared that the pig would bite me. But since it didn't, I kind of want one as a pet. I never knew pigs were so nice.
The farm also offers a number of hands-on experience programs and even a pig museum.
We hope kids will learn to appreciate pigs as living creatures after interacting with them on this farm.
Over in Chungcheongnam-do Province lies the largest natural pasture in Korea, home to a vast number of cattle. At this open farm, you can learn how to milk a cow, feed calves, and even make cheese and ice cream using fresh milk. These are just a couple of examples of the 35 livestock farms in Korea, where people can closely interact with farm animals. These farms have come a long way since their first establishment in 2004, with a total of more than 400,000 visitors to date.
These farms have become a place for mental rejuvenation and education for visitors. So we're always trying to think of new ways to help people realize the true value of our livestock.
So, if you're an animal lover, why not plan a trip to one of these farms? They may give you the peace of mind you've been longing to have. Won Ji-hyun, Arirang News.
A Korean victim of the Japanese military's sexual enslavement of women before and during World War II is on her way to the United States to raise awareness of the issue. 87-year-old Kang Il-chul departed from Incheon International Airport at around 9 a.m. Korea time on Saturday. Kang will give talks about her ordeal in Atlanta and New York City during her 12-day stay in the United States. She's also expected to meet with US government officials during her time in the US. A group of conservative activists composed of South and North Korean students have sent 10,000 anti-Pyongyang leaflets to North Korea criticizing the Kim Jong-un regime. A representative of the group said Saturday that they floated the leaflets on 10 balloons under the cover of darkness on Friday night. They released the balloons in Gangwon-do province near a former North Korean Labour Party office. The activists added the leaflets call for Kim Jong-un and other high-ranking officials to be executed. North Korea has warned on a number of occasions that it would take strong measures against the flying of leaflets across the border. US soldiers stationed here in South Korea have been making detailed maps of underground military facilities in North Korea to better deal with threats posed by the regime. A military journal by a South Korean army major shows that US Forces Korea has also been running an education program for senior South Korean and American military officers to share information on North Korea's underground facilities and to jointly respond to the North's military threats. This program, dubbed Underground Facility, was drawn up in the mid-1990s by the US Army. The program, based on accounts by North Korean defectors and other available information, and North Korea is thought to have up to 8,000 underground military bunkers dotted around the country. Now, Myanmar has declared a state of emergency in 4 regions after monsoon rain that caused floods left at least 27 people dead. Reports say rescue efforts on Saturday were hampered by torrential rain and landslides. More than 100,000 people have been displaced by the flooding. Heavy rain has been pounding some parts of the country for over 2 weeks now. The UN said the military Myanmar is working together with local aid groups to carry out rescue and relief operations. The development of electronic skin has come a long way. The material can detect pressure and temperature and can even heal itself now. And it's also taken another leap forward thanks to a team of Korean researchers who have created the first multifunctional version of this revolutionary invention. Our Park Se-young has a story.
The electronic skin developed by a team of Korean researchers can identify a variety of substances. It can also detect temperature, humidity, and smell, making it the first kind of e-skin that's multifunctional. The e-skin operates based on electric capacity, which is an object's ability to store electricity. When a substance comes into contact with the e-skin, the capacity of the elements in it either increases or decreases. Measuring the change helps identify the substance in question. All it takes to activate it is contact.
Our e-skin can detect differences in polarity by interpreting the changes in electric capacity.
The e-skin, which is about 3 times the thickness of a hair, can bend and stretch just like human skin and could eventually be used as artificial skin. But first, the invention is expected to be attached to robots tasked with detecting dangerous substances in situations like explosions at chemical plants. The material can also measure the pH levels in sweat and could be used in devices for monitoring a person's health. The research team's work was selected as the cover story for the print version of the international scientific journal Advanced Materials, which will be published at the end of a month. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
And finally, before we go, let's take a brief look at the weather. And it's another warm and muggy night. The low is only going to dip to 23 degrees Celsius in Seoul. We can expect some light rain in most parts of the country on Sunday. It's going to be hot. Highs will be in the low 30s nationwide. With that, let's take a look at the weather around the world. Well, those are the stories we have for you at this hour. For more of the latest, don't forget to check out our website, arirang.com/news. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.